Hi there, today I just want to give a little update on my ear piercing. If you watched my last video on my piercings, my lobe versus cartilage piercing comparison video, you'll know what I'm talking about. So in that video, I was saying how, yeah, it was so easy breezy. Both of them were really good, no swelling, nothing, no pain. Well, and I'm gonna tell you what happened. It's such a dumb story. Before I start, if you're not subscribed, do subscribe. I make videos on jewelry, beauty, fashion, accessories, DIY stuff. So yeah, it would be great if you joined. Also, feel free to follow me on Instagram at Sally in Wonderland. By now, I've had my piercings for almost 2 months. And 2 weeks ago, I was walking to dinner and it was raining. It was also very windy, so I had my umbrella out. And before I knew it, a gust of wind smacked the stem of my umbrella right onto my cartilage piercing. The next day, I was on public transport and I got a phone call. And without thinking too much of it, I brought my phone up to my ear and smacked it with my phone. And by that time, it wasn't red or hurting anymore from the umbrella incident the day before. But then the phone smacking made it red again. It started swelling a little bit, but it still wasn't too bad. The next day, I was telling my mom about what had happened with my ear in the previous 2 days. You know, I was like reenacting the umbrella and the phone. And what do you have it? I smacked myself in the ear with my nail. That made 3, and there was no going back after that. My ear just gradually swelled more and more until the ball part at the front was half embedded in my flesh, in the swelling. If you've watched my previous video, you know that the earring that was put in was an 8mm with a flat back and a ball at the front. Just fairly standard titanium. And the piercer at the time did say that they usually go with 10mm for cartilage piercings, but because of how well my lobe piercing was doing, and by the way, my lobe piercing is still doing really well. So yeah, because of that, she decided that an 8mm was worth taking the risk, and things had indeed been good before I knocked it 3 times in a row. So by now it's like swelling and it's leaking pus. I mean, I don't know if it's pus, I think it's lymph fluid. It started out clear, but then after a day it became like kind of whitish, and I was scared that it was going to get infected. Also, by now, the pressure from the swelling, because it had swollen so much that the bar was no longer able to accommodate it, I was getting a localized headache on this part of my head, right behind my ear. And I was taking Nurofen and icing my ear, but it didn't get better. So I had to get me and my swollen ear back to the piercer and see what they thought. I go into the piercer and I talked to the lady at the counter. It was a different girl this time. She took one look and she was like, "Oh my God, you poor thing. Yeah, we'll get that changed out." And she slotted me in. And I came in half an hour before closing and they still managed to fit me in, which was very lucky because they were having their $5 any piercing promotion going on. So the shop was fairly busy. They had 2 girls at the counter and 2 piercers working. And when one of the piercers was free, she came out and had a look at me and she was like, "Yeah, we need to get that changed out." And to my surprise, they told me that they change it for free. I mean, I'm not sure I was expecting anything, but I kind of expected to pay for the new piece of jewelry, but no, they said the whole thing was free. So that was very unexpected and very good customer service. So shout out to Off Your Tree for their stellar customer service. So now the piercer was about to change my earring and she started trying to take out my original earring. And I say trying, I mean trying, because it didn't work at first. And oh, the pain was just excruciating. It was a good 50 times more painful than the initial piercing. It was so bad. She was trying to unscrew it, but the ball was just so embedded into the swelling, into my flesh, into my swollen ear, that she was really struggling getting it out. And she even said, "Oh, it's getting so slippery," I think from the leakage. And oh, the pain was horrible, because at that point, even just tapping the surrounding area of my ear hurt so bad, let alone directly putting pressure and trying to fiddle with my earring. She went at it 2 times before she said that she would need to get a tool to remove it. So she went and got the tool, and at this time, the other piercer, my original piercer, who I think was the more experienced piercer of the two, came in, and the first lady explained what was going on and how we were going to replace this with a 10mm, and then asked her if maybe we should go to 12mm. And the second lady was like, yes, get the 12mm. So she went out, got the 12mm, and they tried one more time at getting it out. And this time it worked. Third time's the charm, I suppose, in this case. They finally managed to get it out. The relief of pressure was insane. Like, I didn't realize just how much pressure was on my ear this whole time. I asked them if it looked like it was infected or going to be infected, and they said no, it just looks very, very angry. Over the course of that 3 days, my ear just got more and more red and purple until more than half of my ear was this awful purple color. And especially with my other ear, for comparison, you could really see the difference and how swollen and irritated it was. She also said to keep taking the Nurofen and icing it and doing the aftercare with the saline spray twice a day, and that's what I've been doing. And I'm happy to report that my ear is more or less back to normal. It's definitely given me a new appreciation of how much more difficult cartilage piercings are to take care of than lobe piercings. In the couple of days after getting my earring replaced, there was a bit of blood and blood crust formed naturally, and after a few days I was able to kind of clean them off when I was doing my daily aftercare, or my twice daily aftercare. They did say that once the irritation and swelling went away, to come back and get it changed back to the 8mm. But I'm not sure exactly when I'm gonna go in to get it changed, because I'm just thinking, what if, you know, it's all better, I'm all good and dandy, and then I go in and get it changed and I bump it again. Now, my journey's still not over. I'm almost 2 months in. For the lobe piercing, they say that healing takes 1 to 2 months, but I might leave it in 3 months just to be safe. With my cartilage piercing, they say that it's 3 to 4 months, but I did read online that a more realistic healing time might be 6 to 12 months, especially if you bump it and it gets irritated. That can lengthen the healing time. And while I'm not the biggest fan of the look of these titanium studs, I think I'd rather play it safe. So yeah, that was just a little update of how everything's going with my piercings. I hope this was informative if you're thinking of getting your cartilage pierced, especially the flat area, because they did say that the flat area is a really hard place to heal. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment down below to let me know if you've ever run into any trouble with your piercings. I mean, I hope you haven't, but if you have, let me know, because I would be really interested to hear.